Hello, guys. Episode number 14 again. This is a familiar face. This is a familiar face. Again, we are with Vincent Preto Hunting. And people said, "How come this guy again? How come?" So I don't have to do any introduction actually because I've done all for the previous episode that we have together. So let's
Yeah.
see why there is Vincent again here. It's easy. We're gonna talk about Ibex, and there was this news recently, and from Switzerland, and so I say, was not difficult for my brain to make 1 plus 1. Vincent is from Switzerland, and I say, okay, so Vincent, I call and they said, what about another podcast? So could be interesting. Do you know what is going on the Ibex? So that's why. Now you know the reason we're gonna talk about Ibex. So what happened is, guys, there was this news, and Vincent is gonna explain that really, really in a good way because he's from that land. He's passionate about the conservation. So he's even pumped. I can see that. It's like what? Give me the go. Give me the go. I want to start to talk. There was this news banning the international trophy hunting. I don't even want to say that. Banning the international safari ibex hunting, whatever you want to call it. So that was interesting, actually. And we are going to see what Vincent knows, what he discovered. Okay. So, hi, Vincent. How are you?
Hi, guys. I'm fine. I'm really fine. As you said, pumped, ready to speak about that subject that is quite a difficult subject and interesting in the same way. You will see it raises a lot of different aspects of hunting, trophy hunting, international hunting, and also the way about the local hunters also in this kind of situations. It's more complicated than what you maybe heard on the social media. And that's what we're going to go through, I hope.
So, what actually, let's go from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. The Novelist was the newspaper, right? The,
Yeah,
the
the
news came,
Novelist.
the Novelist. So, what was that?
Okay, so first thing first, the Novelist is the newspaper of the state of Valais, Valais in French,
Yeah.
which is situated on the south of Switzerland. In the Alps. So really, it's one of the biggest state of the Alps of Switzerland. And this newspaper related that now trophy hunting is banned in Switzerland for foreign hunters. And by foreign, I mean anyone who's out of the state of Valais, living out of it, or maybe somebody who has the hunting license from the state will be able to hunt ibex, but no one anymore. So this was the news. And they placed forward this 70,000 signature petition that came and said that more or less anti-hunters won and got trophy hunting to be illegal.
70,000
Yeah.
signatures. Okay. Without specifying, I mean, actually, you can't specify who was in those signatures actually in the
Yeah.
newspaper, but
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know, and it's not even been checked actually. In Switzerland, you can get a law to go through. If you want to get something voted, you must do a referendum. And for the state of Valais to have a referendum, you will need 3,000 or 4,000 signatures from people from the state, actually. And from there, it will go in front of the politics of the state, and it will be voted. But you need to have people from the state who sign this, and it must be an official paper. It's not a petition on change.org that's going to choose what people in the Alps need to do. I mean, people from my state, 2 hours away driving, signed this petition too. They don't have any voice, any weight into these kind of choices.
And these things, why this petition just started out of the blue? I mean, what is the context? And something happened actually before the petition, right?
Yeah, clearly. In November 2019, a big TV show was broadcast on the TV, and it's called Mise au Point. It was published the 3rd of November, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can check it out if you want, guys.
Yes.
And so it was about trophy hunting in Switzerland, what they called safaris. So the safari is to hunt ibex in the state of Valais. So basically anyone could come to hunt ibex if you had the money to do it. And this is what they spoke about. So where to start?
So
they
what actually
started
that reportage show?
So this reportage was clearly showing people coming to Switzerland to hunt ibex in the Alps. It was mainly, actually, most of the time, trophy ibex, so adults 11 years plus that were hunted, so pure trophy ones. So the 3rd of November 2019, a TV show was broadcasted on the Swiss television. It's called Mise au Point.
Yeah.
And they were tackling the subject of trophy hunting, what they were calling trophy safaris in Switzerland. The public was quite surprised to see that in Switzerland, if you paid up to 20,000 euros, you could come to hunt an ibex in the Alps of Switzerland. So the situation about hunting ibex in Switzerland is quite clear. We shoot 1,000 per year in the country, and of which half of them are shot in Valais, so in the state of South Switzerland. From those 500, 10% of them, 50, were mature males, so 11 years and plus, animals that are believed to be out of the breeding system. And those were sold, half of them, more or less, were sold to the people from Valais who wanted to hunt them. And the other half was sold to the people coming out of the state. So this is what they were actually showing, those people that were not from this state coming to Valais to hunt ibex. The TV show showed first hunters coming there, shooting their ibex, and the way it was done, it was quite wisely made. They took a really blonde American girl, quite cliche, showing like, this girl shot more than 100 species in her life. For example, lion, rhino. Just check out the video. You will see like a dart in the rhino. Like the rhino is sleeping, but doesn't matter. They made it quite wisely.
Yeah, there was an interview, right? They did an interview to this woman.
Yeah, they did interview the woman, and the woman was just saying
completely fine, and even showed the trophy that the ibex that she got in. I remember
exactly
that kind of scene. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. They just took somebody really cliche to represent hunters, international hunters.
A little bit, I have to say, yeah.
A little bit cliche.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter. This woman did what she was allowed to do, and just doing what the guide was telling her to do. And she did it and came home with a nice ibex and a great souvenir. Doesn't matter.
True.
Afterwards, you see in this TV show, then they will go to interview a guy from Valais, actually a hunter from Valais, who was quite astonished to see pictures of beheaded ibex in the mountains. And so showing that those trophy hunters were only coming to get the head of the animal and not the meat. And another guy was also speaking, explaining that he many times saw beheaded ibex in the mountains and just with the meat there to rot for scavengers.
Yeah, the carcass was just left there rotting and
Exactly. What was really surprising is that the state of Valais don't allow the hunters of the state to leave the meat to rot on the ground. If you shoot a 250 kilos red stag high up, 2,000 meter high, you need to get it back down whole and to present it to a control spot where they will control it and measure it and weigh it, and to just confirm that you did right according to the law, etc. And
this is the pattern that actually protocol will say that we are following in northern Italy and I think south of France as well. So you are obliged to bring the animal down to be checked at the control center by a gamekeeper, we'll say.
Exactly.
A technical guy that has to take a lot of information that are going to be archived. And I think that's really important thing, because you can monitoring the population in this way year by year, and have good data.
You need data. You can say like, okay, they have a good weight, they have a good trophies, they are not sick, so the population is healthy. That's a way to clarify that the population is healthy. And afterwards, in this report, so you see the hunter, you see the animal, like the walker in the mountain who speak about the beheaded animals he sees, you see the international hunters. And then they also show a little bit of a guy who's an ex-hunter, also going in the mountains, showing that there is salt leaks in the mountains, and which is a problem or not, I don't know. And this was a part of this report. And it all goes on like this. And you also see the responsible of hunting in Valais, Peter Scheibler, who's full-time working into this.
Yeah.
And he's giving the reporter are just telling him like 11-year-old ibex should not be shot because they still have their place in the breeding system. And he wisely answer like, we just use science. We ask biologists to do the lists of what can be shot, and we shoot what's according to this list. I mean, it's not the state or the hunters who say like, okay, let's shoot all the ibex that we see. Or, I mean, it's scientific. It clearly is scientific. And afterwards, that's how it rolls. Like, you will have all those topics about ibex hunting coming out. And this is through this report that the population got aware of what was happening in Valais. And this is where this petition afterward was signed by the population.
So actually, the reportage, we have to say, that played a big role, actually.
Yes, clearly. The reportage played a big role. It just raised and took the problem in front of the population. But the problem, if we can call it a problem, was already in the state, in the political bureau, I will say. And they were already thinking about it. They knew that their system wasn't clear, that, you know, they show it in the report. You had to pay your part cash to the game warden, and the animal was never presented. So they said that if the game warden wanted to say like, okay, this one is 1.10 meters. Let's say that it's a meter, and the game warden could take the difference of price in his pocket, you know, and it could be done. It wasn't clear. It was not so clear.
So to clarify, in a little step back, the international hunter. So let's say that I'm an international hunter. I'm going to we're gonna just like jump into the past. I'm an international hunter going to Switzerland, and actually I was allowed. I got my tag. So with me, actually, if I understand the situation, I will have the outfitter plus another person.
Yes, exactly. So it depends how you approach the hunt. But if you went through an outfitter who gets you the tag, then the outfitter will charge you a certain amount for the hunt, as always. And he will come with you in the mountains with the game warden. Exactly. So you will be 3 people.
Oh, 3 people. Okay, you with you included. And
Yes, exactly.
so there is
Or
another way. There's another way.
there is another way, which is just go directly to the state of Valais, say, I want an Ibex. They get you an Ibex, and you can go hunt with the game warden also. This is what my brother did when he was still living in Valais.
Okay.
So people from Valais have a really reduced price compared to international hunters.
Okay.
And he went with a game warden to shoot an Ibex in the mountains.
2 person.
Simply. 2 person.
Okay. So to me, looks like who is leading the affair, actually. I mean, who has to check about if everything is respected is the game warden.
Well, the game warden, he's I don't remember how you say, but he's like the policeman's, you know. His voice is more important than the voice of anyone. If you are one-on-one, the policeman will win.
So in that specific situation, it's the authority.
He's the authority.
Okay.
So then we can't do anything if this authority don't act according to what he said. I mean, this is again the same thing. Like it's kind of poaching, and it's not right.
Yeah. Okay, so now we can see how it was organized, and I've seen the reportage also when you gave me the link before this podcast, and I have to say they show some pictures about some carcasses on the mountain. It's tough to say what it's really that carcasses. Of course, it looks like an ibex, but it's like pieces apart, and it's really difficult to understand where that come from.
It is.
Probably there is something that happened, but do you think so? At the end of this, before get into conclusion, so these things actually passed.
So yes, the 28th of August, so the Nouvelliste announced, and which the state announced, that trophy hunting for people out of Valais so only people with a hunting license in Valais will be able to hunt ibex in the Alps in this state. And it was the only state in Switzerland organizing this kind of special hunts. So it's not going to be possible if you want to shoot an ibex in Valais, even me, because I don't live in this state. You need to go through 2 years of classes to get your hunting license, pay for your hunting license, and then you can go to the mountains. And then you can get an ibex.
So that means that if I'm from Switzerland, but not from the same region, I have to get through this, even if I have a license already.
Yeah, exactly. I have some state will, for example, I have the license of Neuchâtel state.
Okay.
And I can go to Bern state if I want. For example, the Bern state recognize my license, but the state of Valais don't.
They don't.
Because people from Valais are true mountaineers, and they protect their hunts. They are quite tight with this.
Do you think that there is a reason to think about that this banning that happened, it's because of this kind of mentality?
First thing first, it's not because of anti-hunters. Antis have nothing to do into it. The problem was there for a long time, this problem of money, who get the money, where does it go, who control it. It was quite unclear. And then the petition that was signed just gave the electroshock to get it going.
It's interesting.
But it was a long time problem, you know. And this was just like the alarm that the state got, like, oh, damn, now the press is coming into this problem, we need to solve it. And they solved it. They did not even count the 70,000 signature, did not check the names or anything. For them, it was just like, okay, this is going too far. Let's solve this problem.
It's interesting, you know, sorry to cut you again, but
yeah,
because it's shocking a little bit. I have to be honest. It's really complicated, because I see that we are digging into a topic that it's really fire. We are used to see that we have a big pressure of anti-hunters on our activity, on hunting. And now you're telling me that actually anti-hunters didn't play a big role in these things because the affair, I mean, this safari was already in the list of what to do or what not to do. This, I mean, the state was trying to focus on this, right? This is what you say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And plus,
exactly.
you have a region. I mean, you have an area of Switzerland where they're trying to keep as. I mean, this is shown by the license. I mean, how come I'm from the same state and my license is not recognized in how far is that from you from your
To 1 hour and a half driving, and I'm in the state of Valais.
probably the animals that will breathe the same air, right?
Yeah, clearly. That's crazy. That I mean, that's crazy. That's how we work.
I don't think
That's
that
how we roll.
the biology for that gap of, I mean, that distance of kilometers will change drastically. That you need a totally different license, right?
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting because in my area, for example, we
Yeah.
don't have any hunting plan for red stags. We have rolling hills around, and it's really limestoney
Yeah.
landscape. And if you go 2 hours driving, you end up in Valais. They shoot, I don't remember, but it's 1,000 red deers a year.
Wow.
They have ibex and 4,000 meter high mountains. You know, it changes really fast. So the landscape, the people, everything is really different. You know, like we are from the same country, but it's really different. And people are always amazed that Switzerland can still roll around
that drastically. So, yeah, possible. It could explain maybe why the license is different. But do you think that so the way how to form people from a state to another state is totally different?
No, it's the same. We
It's the
all
same.
have the same requirement, which is strange.
Yeah.
This is the strange part of it.
Yeah, this is another thing that adding, strange to this
Yeah.
to this matter. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We don't think about it too much when we did it. We accept it. Like, okay. And in a way, I can understand that the people from Valais, they have a really nice hunting state. They don't want all of Switzerland to come. You will get people from Zurich. There is already guys from Zurich who have the license in Valais.
Yeah.
And it's already complicated.
Yeah,
I mean, they will. I was speaking with a guy from another state, Fribourg, which is in the middle of Switzerland. He told me he went to hunt in Valais, and it was not the right idea. People protect their hunts. They will just put holes in your car, in the tires, so you don't come back. I mean, they are protected.
So I can see a little bit why an international hunter that doesn't really, doesn't belong to the area. And I have to say, I have experienced a tiny bit this kind of things because I'm from south of Italy. And I did some studies with the university when we went to Dolomiti to do some kind of research on the scabies on ibex, and we were there to just take the sample blood with the gamekeeper and had a vets. I was a student at that time, and my Italian accent was, I mean, phenotypically speaking, I can look like I'm a Nordic. I'm from north of Italy. When I open my mouth, actually, I destroy completely my image, and I was from South Italy. And you know that there is these big things between north and south. So I'm not really south 100% because I'm born in the north, but my family, my blood is south, and so there was, that kind of strange things and so many jokes. And I remember once that I did a sample blood, and all the ibex was put down by telenarcosis. And after you give an injection to wake them up, okay? I'm not going into the technical words, but it's good. You cannot just free an ibex that was sleeping and drunk. He's gonna jump. He's gonna fall from high. So we give the injection to like an antidote for the telenarcosis to allow the ibex to wake up. I was with a female, and I did injection in the vessel. I mean, in the neck, and the Ibex was completely, laid down on the left side, and it was like a team of probably 10 people around. They would just step back, and we were looking at the Ibex, and the Ibex was not moving at all. And because I was from the south, everyone was trying to say, but you don't have Ibex, in the south. So are you sure you did the right things? Did you inject the right things? You know how much it costs to the park, to the national park and Ibex? I was like, a little student, or I don't know.
Okay.
And then my professor, that was like, that's a little bit like my father protecting me, but it was fine. But it just shake a little bit the face, the head of the Ibex, and just boom, she ran away. And I was, oh, Jesus. Thanks God. I don't have to pay an Ibex with my pocket money. Anyway, so
Alpine people are protective. They love where they are. They love what they are and what they have, and they really want to protect it, and that can be understood. I mean,
so to get back to
me,
this news actually, and when you say the anti-hunters, they didn't play a big role, because actually the petition didn't have any impact
anyway
on the decision of the state. Probably was, as you say, the electroshock and accelerator. So these things get out of the control for, what do you think, bad practice?
Yes, to me, it clearly went out of control due to bad practice and clear management of the situation. They could have done it really in another way. Maybe get the hunter to sign the chart, or to say, okay, you come to hunt in the Alps, in Valais, you need to get the whole animal down, or to put it into pieces and to get it down, or just put a frame around the act of coming to Switzerland to hunt an Ibex, and there it would have been better, just to clarify things, because things weren't clear. It's a 40 years old practice, and it was done like, okay, as long as nobody said anything, they were keeping on going the same way. And as said, things were unclear, and they should have clarified it before the press came into considering the subject. And if you just say like, okay, let's make it let's just make a frame around it, and it's gonna be perfect, nobody can say anything. If it's clarified, if people say like, they're gonna be poaching, no, they can't be poaching, because they need to take it down to present it to the service, they will control it, then things are clear. It was just unclear.
That's the thing that surprised me, because if you have like this huge difference between the license and how you recognize the different license in the different states, why, instead of banning the trophy hunting in that specific area, you just have to put the rules, and you push that thing in a way that anyone, every international hunters have to probably follow 2 days of course to understand what is going on, what he has to respect, and how the different parts, because there will be probably an outfitter, or probably not, or there is the guide. So who has the last words, and then bringing down the animal, because it has to be checked at the control center, as like probably the local hunters were doing and are still doing. So that is the really, if we come to the really the
core
of this problem. If I have to be honest, if I have to share my opinion, is that instead of banning, because anyway, that population as being spoken by the people they are leading the management there are a certain number of Ibex that has to put down. because
Really?
we're gonna keep the population a certain number. Otherwise, it's gonna have overexpand the
Yeah,
population.
the example of France is quite clear.
Yeah.
If you don't manage the population, a few years ago, the ibex in a certain valley in France got sick, and they had to take them down, and they took them down with firemen, with policemen, and more or less machine gun and helicopters, because they needed to be managed.
Yeah, and that was
It's crazy.
brucellosis. Actually, that was
Brucellosis, huh?
and they even had zoonosis. So actually, it could be transmitted to men.
Yeah, it was bad.
And Switzerland has the same situation. If that could happen even in Switzerland, so you have to put down.
We don't put back the thing of hunting ibex in talks. I mean, it was really this trophy hunting practice from foreign people. It's just what was on the table, and it went way too far into problems, so they could not solve it in another way. They could not say like, okay, let's now say that we put something in place so it's done under the right rules. The problem was it was too rotten, and we just had to cut the limb, the limb off.
Yeah,
cut it off, like.
Yeah, but the consequences are like, if you, to be honest, probably consequences are just nothing will change in terms of what is going to happen. So those ibex are going to be put it down. Probably you have an economic loss that.
Yes, there is 650,000 Swiss francs, more or less euros, that are lost. And it's not a problem. We are Switzerland. I mean, we don't rely on the money of foreigners, at least about hunting, to protect those ibex. They will find another way. They will certainly save. They say that they save money by not doing those hunts anymore, because the game warden will then work doing something else, maybe about wolf in Valais or other subjects like that.
Yeah.
And I did ask them how they expect to solve to replace this loss, and I did not receive answers. But they say that it's not going to be taken on the hunting license.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is.
Do you think that is an economic loss also in terms of tourism? Because you have an international hunter coming, probably you will stay in a hotel and restaurant. It's significant or not?
No, to me, compared to the level of tourism in Valais, you will go to see Dermat. Like, people go, there is Asian people, Russian people coming to Dermat, Verbier, for skiing, for biking. They just made the biggest electric bike festival in the mountains of Verbier. It takes thousands of people every month in this state. So 25 hunters who will spend more or less 3 days. Ibex are not that hard to hunt. No. They are not hunted extensively, so they are not afraid of people. So it will take you 2 to 3 days to shoot one. I mean, it's nothing. So it's nothing compared.
We can see a little bit the picture better of what happened, and it's super interesting because this news was shown by hunters in a way that we're gonna say that Antihunters, economic loss, wildlife management, but we have to contextualize everything, and this is really important because we're gonna fall into some mistakes. As you said when we had the previous podcast with you, we said that we are the ambassador of hunting, but we have to be clever, because like always speaking about anti-hunters, always speaking about the same subject again and again without contextualizing it is a big danger. And I see this is the typical example. You have shown actually what it is. It was neither a wildlife management because the ibex population is super healthy. It was neither an economic loss because Switzerland, come on, you don't need that money.
No.
Okay? And third, to resume the problem. And third, you're gonna go ahead with your hunting, and then the locals will get, I mean,
They will be happy.
the
They will get
work, and
big
they will
ibex.
continue to hunt the ibex. So let's really be honest. What happened actually, it's probably some practices were not done in the perfect way.
Exactly.
The bad side is that before jumping at the I mean jumping to conclusion, say okay, banning is finished, we could the things could have managed differently, like putting some strict
Yeah.
rules for every foreign coming to the state and wanting to hunting ibex. That was not difficult, but I think probably public opinion, that was the big
Yeah.
pressure.
The biggest issue. Yeah, it was the biggest issue in the situation. It's more the bad management that got anti-hunters to put pressure on an already. They just pushed on the wound. The wound was there, and they just use it.
Yeah.
But in any case, it was a sick system, and this is what we must really be aware: is that in our ways of hunting and the clarity of it, we need to be clear, and so we can protect hunting. If you just make things the right way, they can't say anything. I mean, the populations are healthy, the animals are there. You can and you need to take them. So let's do it in a proper way, and nobody's gonna argue.
A question for you. What do you think about trophy hunting? It's a tricky question. I know I'm gonna put you in a difficult position, but
not good.
What do you think? Because it's actually a little bit around trophy hunting. All these problems that we're having, it's because of trophy hunting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I will just start with something I received yesterday in my mailbox. We are voting a new law in Switzerland, the 25th of September,
Yes.
And about hunting. Clearly, it's going to be about managing wolf, managing lynx, and places for animals to be able to go across highways and stuff like that. It's going to be quite interesting. They want to ban many duck species in the go. Like, yeah, I mean, we have 15 huntable species, and we will end up with 3, I think. So we're going to losing a lot. Interesting topic. And I received a paper of people saying like vote no to this law, and it was written like trophy hunting is still going to be possible in Switzerland. So first thing first, what is trophy hunting? I mean, that's already the first thing that again, it's unclear. No. To me, trophy hunting is going out and to take the biggest animal possible. Okay.
So that's the meaning. If we want to be like just in a sentence, in a quote, trophy hunting is just getting out and take the biggest animal. It is actually what it's. That's tricky. I mean,
I turned the trick around.
It's the biggest animal. It's kind of tricky because it's a problem of contextualization. If a population,
and in certain cases, it's going to be really right. To me, taking the biggest ibex possible is right because a horn will keep on growing.
Yes.
So certainly, the longer it is, the older it is.
Yeah.
For red stag, for example, it's not necessarily right because a red stag that has the biggest trophy in his prime years, it's when he's useful,
Yeah.
So it's tricky. You can also have a chamois that is 4.5 years old. That's really big.
Yeah, true.
That's not the right one to take. If you think about conservation, blah, 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 all these things.
I think it's tricky. And a trophy hunting, it's super tricky in a way that people that are not exposed to hunting will see that you just killed the beautiful animal.
Yeah, and clearly.
So,
and
they
don't see, they don't even realize what's around it. And that's what we are lucky. They don't see because for me, trophy hunting created problems in many cases. They don't see these red stags of New Zealand, which the brain pop out because their antlers are so huge that it breaks.
That's the what you're saying is interesting. Really,
that's trophy hunting.
that's trophy hunting.
That's because of trophy hunting, which is bad.
You know what? Well, I have a client that's from South Africa, and this brother is a big outfitter. So they have land, with wild animals, and it's bringing foreign inside to do safaris. I mean, it's good. We're talking about that. And he said it's a good breeder. He's a sheep breeder. Actually, has big knowledge in genetic. And he moved to France to do just some projects. And we were talking about sheep, and then we talked a little bit about his brother and what type of clients he had. And he looked at me and said, if we continue like that, we're going to just end it with horns on 4 legs. Because this is what they care, and it's true. It's sad. This is sad. If you see a trophy hunting in that way, we're gonna push and push and push. Who got the biggest horn, the big antlers?
It's record hunting. It's not even trophy hunting anymore. It's record hunting. We want the biggest, and doesn't matter the way. And this is what is getting crazy to me. We're in this trophy hunting thing, which is, as we've seen, so difficult to define. People are losing their ethic. They are going, and who cares how? I want the biggest. I need a motorbike to shoot it. I will take a motorbike. Who cares? I walk 5 meters. I don't care. I walk 5 meters. I shoot the big one. We lose the sense of experience into it.
And how do you think this is? I'm sure that 100% why you're talking that way, because you are born on the mountain, so you know everything that comes from hunting on the mountain. There is an effort, the little details that are involved when you prepare for a hunt that you want to do in a good way, but you are born there. That's the difference,
It is, but even hunting in France, shooting. I have the road there. I keep all the trophies, and every time I look at him, I'm like, sorry, bro, it was not right, because I just passed with the car. I saw him there. I was pissed. It was a bad day. I just parked the car. I went and I shot him. The story sucks. Like, it's meaningless. Yes, he's nice. He's super long. He must be like close to 30 and really thin, long antler, old animal. But I did not deserve this story,
But because I think you are a type of sensitivity that it's on that way. But probably other people don't care. It's better to have more long horns on the wall, because they
clearly
and then I think probably I have the next question. I think I'm gonna put you in a bad in a bad situation again.
Thank you.
Trophy hunting. So it's difficult, and we're seeing that we both have problems to really explain it, because how really show to someone that if I have to explain to someone that there's no hunter, but they are biologically aspect. They are biological aspect, because most of the time an animal that it's at the best of its genetics, you will have probably it depends on the species, as you said. It depends on the species, because not most of all have the same destiny. But after mature, an animal is gonna be on the hand of the carrier, and a natural death is an atrocity. It's super painful. But let's go into the question. So, do you think that we have something inside that comes from our ancestors that can explain this kind of reaction to the trophy hunting?
Yeah.
because
clearly,
because I mean, we have to be honest. I mean, now I don't know what is going to happen after this podcast. Probably we didn't think about all the points in a perfect line, because now we are getting out of the no, it's still the topic, but we are reaching so many different different
Aspect.
context and aspect. But let's be honest. When you see a big animal,
Oh yeah, that's appealing.
You have that reaction, right?
I gave this example. I mean, it's in the past we were looking for women with big hips because they were the best ones to give birth. I mean, it's terrible, and that's why we are still
Vincent Pretending is gonna have a breakup of relations of his relationship.
Where's my girlfriend? I'm kidding. She's not home.
She's not home. That's why you're talking like that. Oh man. So yes, okay.
But that's true. There is things like that can be proven that because of our history.
You know
Simply.
that you know,
and maybe
my podcast didn't have any women guests since we started. Now with your quote is gonna be.
Yeah, that's not really modern way of thinking. Sorry. No, that's science. That's science. That's nothing to do with
Let's put a big beep since he started that quote. Anyway, no, but it's true. It's true. It's true. And so, but why the trophy? I mean, I can understand that for the women.
Yeah, but I mean that can be the glory, you know. In Maasai culture, you kill a lion with a spear and a shield, and that's how you become a man. Maybe we still have this, you know. I think back then the caveman who was killing maybe a bear was like, this guy is cool.
Yeah,
and maybe we still have this in our blood.
Strong, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But he was doing it with a spear. He was doing it like with just underwears made out of furred rhino. I don't know what.
And you know, where you're talking about this, I can understand now a little bit. It's just really amazing how this kind of talking makes you reflect and move the brain in a good way. What you say before, actually, the fact that you were not happy about that roe deer kill, right? Because the story behind that. And then now you're saying that actually to get a big animal, it's tough, right? Because that mature animal or that big trophy, it didn't get to that age because it's stupid.
No.
Because it's one of more probably the smartest. And how you give dignity to that animal is to have a nice story of a nice hunt. You have to merit that thing. That's the way how hunting has to be seen. If I got that trophy, it's because I merit that. It's because I did such an effort. I prepare myself. I follow the lines. I try to achieve perfection to get that animal. And then the right glory comes after.
Yeah, exactly. To me, that's how I get the happiness of taking an animal. Is by doing it the right way. And I always say that you need a reason to take it. May it be old, story, the people you are with, the place you are with, the weather. Just give it something. Like, okay, oh yeah, I shot this one. It was beautiful. It was raining. Yeah, the trophy is so small.
But there is a story.
It was a shitty weather, you know. Like,
but is what we remember actually. If I have to choose, to be honest, between like I don't know, a chamois that is like more than 10 inches and shot like the first like 50 minutes of walk on the mountain because just across the path, I will say yes, it will be nice on the wall and will be like, whoa, look at what a trophy. But what I have to and what I'm gonna tell, what is the story behind that when we're gonna sit in front of it. So it's a different topic.
It's tricky. It's tricky. And I think we all have our own reasons to hunt and our own reasons to shoot. That's hard. I'm not going to sum it up, and I don't have the right thoughts, the right idea, obviously. But to me, this is what it is. And this is what I found strange, is that we are losing this ethic and this pride of doing things right for length, centimeter, inches, grams.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. We could.
And this is
we have this problem of
Sad.
feelings that comes from people that they are not exposed, and that is why we should be really the right ambassador of hunting. But again, going back to that trophy hunting topic, is just when now it drops into my mind that day when I don't know what I was. Probably I was watching some YouTube videos of red stags, and my daughter was there, and she's just 4. So actually, she doesn't know anything about what is hunting, what is not hunting. It's just the brain is kind of innocent. So she just probably talk by innate instinct or whatever reaction in. Because I didn't expose my daughter that much that she knows the difference between the animal, between the different individual. But she saw a big deer and she said, "Whoa, that's a big deer." And I look at her and
Let's smoke it.
I say, wow. And it's just 4 years old. That means that, again, we have something inside.
It's somewhere.
It's a
sure.
type of survival, because probably getting a big animal was even translated in bringing a lot of food to home, and we still have it. We still have it. So, but we are really close to conclusion, and yeah, I think
Is
53 minutes. It was a really, really good thing. So, but a last message. These things that happen probably will keep feeding the anti-hunters, right?
Yep.
So what do you think about this relationship that we have? I mean, if we can still talk about relationship that we see hunters, non-hunters, anti-hunters. It looks like a game on Xbox or PS4.
Yeah.
And you decide, you want to start your journey, and you find your category. There is the warrior, the master, the
the scientist.
And I feel like every time I have to be categorized about hunters, non-hunters. So I want to see the last message you can shoot. Sorry. Well, we have to continue to see things like that to keep this. I mean, to bring hunting in a good light. We still have to fight, because actually we're gonna get a big pressure today. I have to be honest. In Europe, things are getting really out of control, because you're gonna see France now. There is new laws. They're trying to put down some traditional hunts. In UK, also there's some banning things that were going on. Let's hear what you think about it.
Oh, well, to me, the first thing is, and it's something I try to repeat to anyone, hunters, non-hunters, greens, biologists, antis, whoever, we all want the same thing until the last step. We want to have biodiversity, wildlife, wildlands, protected areas where it's wild and free and beautiful. And in the end, someone will take a picture, someone will do a survey, look at them, and I will shoot it. But in the end, we all want the same thing up until the last part of it. I don't understand why antis are fighting or greens are fighting to get hunting banned. We do good. I mean, it's proven. It's been like that for decades, that we improve the areas and that we help and that we are needed. So to me, that's so strange that we don't fight together. And in the end, okay, let's discuss what we do with those animals. But we need this biodiversity. And another thing that was really interesting, because you speak about all these hunts in France with the dogs and the Grande Vénerie and stuff like that, and the horse and the horns, and I mean, I really want to see one of those before it's banned, because I'm afraid that it will go through. And we speak about biodiversity. We speak about all those modern problems. And okay, is a great Anglo-Saxon dog not part of the biodiversity? Yeah. Is the Bruno du Jura, the dog we bred just next door, the state next door, not part of biodiversity is the porcelain, all of those dogs, the Schwitzwa, anything. I mean, it's part of our biodiversity, our culture, our history. We are not just people that need to be taken down and beaten. I don't understand why there is such a hate towards us.
It's, again, probably some human kind of psychology going on, that because I mean, I don't know, talking about video games and stuff, that make me think even about, I don't know, says anyone else there have watched the Game of Thrones, and at the end they have to face the same problem. It doesn't matter where, if they belongs to this family or the other one, they have to face the same problem. They don't have any choice. And then it's just, I think probably today this is the problem, that we are not really seeing into the right picture. There is a huge climate change, and I have read some kind of scientific papers that actually Professor Lovari he asked me. He did some studies about this climate change and impact on the wildlife population, and probably is a good thing. I don't know if we're going to have a podcast to that, because it's super interesting. And there are some kind of theory that say that probably in some years the population will drop because of this climate change. And and this is the right enemy. This is the right enemy. And then everyone, we are fighting about, you belong to hunters, you belong to anti-hunters, and one day we're gonna face the same problem. That's the deal. That's the deal. And we have to stop the struggle and try to see, you belong to who? Who are you? You're a vegan, you're a meat eater, you are a hunter, you are a vegetarian, whatever it is.
We categorize.
This is what every time is like boxing people, put someone in a box. If you don't feel like you're in a box, you feel like you're lost. For which kind of reason? So it's complicated.
And people join movements. People join movements to belong to a box, because being out of a box is not good. It's humans are made to live in groups. Alone, you don't survive really long. We need to be a group. And I think we need to belong to a group. But now there is way too many groups, and groups are caring too much about what the other group do. I hunt, you do football, and voila. It's both are legal, both are durable, and that's it. And I like the way of hunting in France, where they just give you a portion of terrain, and they say, okay, you have this, you're allowed to shoot this, and as long as it's the same number, you keep doing this way. And if the number goes down, then we put it down, and you shoot less. And if there is more, you shoot more. And that's scientific, basic, not complicated.
But again, it's not yes and no. It's not black and white.
Doesn't work like that.
And I remember that the intervention of the agriculture minister, the French, Julien de Normandy. And actually he was I don't remember the channel, but was interviewed about this kind of new law proposition about the chasse à courre and the other traditional hunts, and he said that actually there's no yes and no, there's no black and white. There are some kind of aspect that they are tough to be deal without probably hunting. Some agriculture terrain are devastated by wild boar. And I don't understand this thing, actually. This could be my last intervention, because we can keep talking, till tomorrow morning
for 2 days like that.
And what he said that was interesting. He said there is not any solution for this proposition. It's like, even into the list there was intensive breeding, right? But actually, he said, if we stopped intensive breeding, what are we going to do, actually? Because we're going to put all the animals in the fields.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work because, it's going to be an impact on the field. It's going to be a land management. It's going to be tough. And what about all the people that are living in this field? Because it's going to be a big amount of animals, right? We just cannot kill all the animals that just come from the breeding system. And then in France it's tough because I don't know how many people complain during the year about there is this sound. There was even another big news about some rooster. There's even the name. I don't
Yeah.
remember Maurice. I think the rooster Maurice that was.
Oh yeah, they killed it. I've seen this
Because the neighbors were complaining about this rooster. Can you understand? And now people are saying that we stop the intensive breeding system. I know for the breeding system. I'm a vet. I really prefer the extensive breeding system. But there is, a transition, between.
it takes time.
That's why it's no yes and no. And again, who's gonna put down the population of wild boar?
Yeah, that's mad. That's crazy. We could shoot them, consume them, sell them. Just in Switzerland, it's something I discovered. Oh, we're going around, but something I discovered that Switzerland is one of the few countries where you actually eat wild game quite traditionally. Every year here in September, October, it's the civet season, and everybody goes to the restaurants, and you go eat a civet with a spätzle and cranberries marmalade and pastas and stuff, and it's really traditional. Why? We should maybe do this more, like just show like, oh, this is wild boar from our forest. This one has just been turning around the dirt and ameliorating maybe his land, his where he lives, and now we eat it.
That's it.
That
could be super initiative.
It had one bad day in its life.
Yeah.
The day it died, like all the rest was pure fun. Just wandering around in the forest, and one day, boom.
Yeah.
Done. Like, man, if I could live like that,
it was fine.
I would take it.
Yeah, I would take it. Exactly. Nice. That was interesting podcast, Vincent. Was a really tough topic, actually. I have to say, it was not easy at all. But I'm happy that you stay with me for 1 hour. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I hope the viewer understood a bit more about the subject of Valais. If they want just to shoot me a message or anything on Instagram, or feel free, just give me your thoughts about the subject, and maybe even guy from Valais who will tell me like, hey, bro, you missed this in your, and I'm happy to share. But just, it was mainly the goal to say that it's not about antis in this case. It's hunting as a whole. Again, no black and white.
True, exactly. And you have to be more careful about this. Just not point the fingers and saying anti-hunters, but we have to, of course, keep showing the hunting in a good way, explain it, but not just like continue to show the same things and fighting back in a bad way. That is not going to help anyone else. Okay, because at the end there's still the same enemy that we have to face. So that's it.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Vincent. And
cool. Pleasure.
Last message for all the girls that didn't appreciate the comment of Vincent. Comment below, and he's gonna try to explain everything you say.
I will. I will.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers. Bye.